Welcome back to the channel, everyone. In today's video, we're diving deep into some of the most surprising and ultra-rare Jefferson nickels that many collectors overlook. These coins may seem ordinary at first glance, but their hidden history, striking details, and unexpected value make them true treasures waiting to be discovered. So sit tight as we uncover the stories, rarity, and real market prices behind these exceptional coins. First up, the story of the 1946 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark begins with a quiet mystery, one that hides behind its simple appearance. While it may look ordinary to anyone holding it in its current dirty, worn condition, collectors know that this coin carries a depth of history and an unexpected level of desirability. The absence of a mint mark instantly identifies it as a product of the Philadelphia Mint, and its survival through decades of circulation has turned this unassuming nickel into a small artifact of post-war America. What makes it collectible is not just its age, but the subtle traits, minting characteristics, and rarity in higher conditions that have elevated it far beyond the value of its face. It stands as a reminder that even the most overlooked coins in pocket change can become treasures in the hands of collectors. To understand why this coin matters, we have to go back to the shifting conditions of 1946, the year after World War II ended. The United States Mint was transitioning out of wartime production, adjusting metals, refining processes, and moving away from the Silver Alley nickels of 1940 to 1945. The Mint once again used the original copper-nickel composition, and millions of new nickels were produced as the country entered a period of rapid economic rebuilding. But this shift created inconsistencies, subtle production issues, and varying die wear patterns, which would later become key points for collectors. Many coins were struck quickly to keep pace with post-war demand, and the Philadelphia issues, though made in large numbers, were not preserved well by the public. This is part of what gives the 1946 no-mint mark nickel its significance today. Its design, unchanged from the classic Jefferson portrait first introduced in 1938, carries a refined elegance when examined closely. The obverse features Monticello's architect staring forward with a thoughtful expression, the detail in his hair and cheek contours showing varying levels of quality depending on the strike. On a heavily circulated and dirty piece, these details are often softened or nearly lost, but a collector's trained eye can still recognize the original artistry beneath the wear. The reverse proudly displays Monticello itself, its columns, steps, and central dome offering a window into American neoclassical architecture. Tiny variations in strike sharpness on the building's steps and the spacing of the lettering are what distinguish a common 1946 nickel from one worthy of top-tier collector attention. Rarity for this issue is not about mintage, because millions were produced, but rather about survival in premium collectible conditions. Most examples spent decades in pockets, cash drawers, and loose change piles, accumulating grime, scratches, and dull surfaces. Finding one in extremely clean, crisp, original condition is surprisingly difficult, and those with exceptional luster or unusually strong strikes are often pulled into competition among collectors. A dirty, well-worn example still tells a story, but it is the higher-grade survivors, those few that escaped handling, that rise dramatically in value. Even among circulated pieces, eye appeal, surface integrity, and subtle traces of original shine create meaningful differences in rarity. Collector demand for the 1946 Jefferson nickel comes from the broader appeal of the Jefferson series itself. While not as historically dramatic as other U.S. coin families, this series attracts collectors who appreciate long-running continuity and subtle variations across decades. The transition from wartime silver nickels back to the traditional alloy makes the 1946 issue particularly noteworthy. Some collectors pursue it as a bridge between two eras, while others seek it for its die variety potential or for a specialized focus on early Jefferson years. Its ability to stand out, even when compared to more famous dates, comes from a combination of nostalgia, transitional history, and the surprising difficulty of securing a top-tier example in today's market. The current market value of the finest surviving examples reflects this growing interest. Strong mid-grade pieces can begin around $620, especially if they retain honest wear and decent detail despite their age. Attractive, lightly circulated examples push well into the four-figure range, particularly those showing original mint luster or minimal contact marks. Elite specimens, those graded at the high end with exceptional clarity, have been known to command $3,400 to nearly $4,800, depending on the intensity of demand at auction. While dirty condition pieces remain far more modest, collectors often seek them as budget entries, with the potential of upgrading later. The diversity of price points ensures that no matter where the collector stands financially, this coin can still become an appealing addition. For anyone hopping to find or collect a 1946 no-mint-mark Jefferson nickel, focusing on certain traits makes a major difference. Look carefully at the steps on Monticello, sharp, distinct lines that can dramatically raise value. Study Jefferson's cheek, jawline, and hair, because those areas fade first in circulation. Luster matters more than most beginners realize, and even a faint trace of remaining shine can signal a better-than-average coin. Check for clean surfaces, minimal dirt buildup, and reduced spotting. These coins occasionally appear in old change jars, inherited coin boxes, and estate collections, often overlooked by people unaware of their significance. With patience and a careful eye, collectors can discover surprising gems where others see nothing at all. In the end, the 1946 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark stands as a quiet icon of its era, an overlooked survivor that bridges wartime production and the rebirth of American coinage. Its history, subtle design beauty, condition-based rarity, and steady collector demand have kept it relevant for decades. Whether found in a dirty, worn state or preserved in remarkable quality, it carries a story that invites collectors both new and seasoned to appreciate what lies beneath its surface. And as we move forward in this series, the next coin reveals an even more surprising twist, one that may change the way you look at ordinary pocket change forever. Next up, the 1956 Jefferson nickel has become one of the most intriguing modern-era collectibles. Admired not only for its place in American numismatic history, but also for the surprising premiums it commands when preserved in exceptional condition. What makes this coin stand out is the gap between its ordinary roots and its extraordinary desirability today. Many collectors pursue it as part of the long-running Jefferson nickel series, but only those who truly understand its nuances appreciate why top-tier specimens have soared in value. The Denver Mint's reputation for strong strikes gives this issue a distinct identity, and the highest-grade survivors remain intensely sought after by specialists who recognize how difficult it is to find a flawless example from this year. Its story begins in 1956, a moment when the United States was deep in the post-war boom and industrial production was stronger than ever. The Denver Mint played a vital role in supplying the nation with circulating coinage, and nickels were in especially high demand thanks to the rapid expansion of consumer spending, vending machines, and automated systems. Although the 1956 nickel was not struck to commemorate any specific event, it reflects the technological optimism of the Eisenhower era and the steady transition of the U.S. Mint into more modernized production methods. As part of the Jefferson Nickel series introduced in 1938, it helped continue the Mint's commitment to circulating artistry, durability, and national symbolism. The visual character of the coin continues the classical design that Americans had grown familiar with by mid-century. On the obverse, Felix Schlag's portrait of Thomas Jefferson conveys a dignified presence, with the curvature of his coat collar, the texture in his hair, and the subtle expression on his face defining the aesthetic charm collectors appreciate when the strike is crisp. The reverse features Monticello, Jefferson's architectural masterpiece, framed by clean lettering and a balance of symmetry that gives the design its timeless appeal. The nickel's composition remains the traditional copper-nickel alloy, its diameter resting at 21.2 with a weight of 5 grams, making it identical in feel to modern nickels. What distinguishes a premium example is the way luster, sharpness, and clean fields reveal the design's full artistry, particularly evident in coins preserved untouched since the day they were minted. Despite being a common date in circulation, the 1956 D nickel becomes exceedingly rare when judged by strict numismatic standards. The Denver Mint produced a large quantity, but most were used heavily, resulting in surface marks, flattened steps on Monticello, and worn high points that reduce their collectible potential. The holy grail for collectors is a coin displaying full steps on Monticello, an indicator of an exceptionally strong strike and minimal wear. Such coins are scarce due to the mint's die polishing practices and striking pressure limitations of that era. Even among uncirculated pieces, pristine examples without contact marks are surprisingly hard to locate, making them highly sought after in competitive registry sets. Current market values reflect this scarcity in top grades, with the finest examples beginning around $780 for sharply detailed uncirculated coins showing attractive surfaces and minimal blemishes. Those graded at the upper end, particularly with full steps, have achieved impressive results at auction, often bringing $2,600 to $4,300 depending on eye appeal, luster strength, and bidder demand. Prices climb even higher when a specimen demonstrates extraordinary clarity or unusually brilliant tunning, two traits that collectors pursue aggressively. Steady appreciation over the last decade suggests that high-grade 1956 D nickels occupy an important position in mid-century numismatics and continue to attract attention both for their rarity and their market performance. For collectors hopping to secure an outstanding example, careful evaluation is crucial. The first step is examining Monticello's steps with magnification, looking for uninterrupted lines and minimal bridging between them. Surface quality matters deeply, especially for Denver issues, as the mint's high-speed production sometimes produced minor scrapes and nicks that can dramatically reduce grade. Certification from a reputable grading service provides confidence in authentication and condition, and storing the coin in stable, non-reactive holders will preserve its delicate luster. Many collectors find success by reviewing auction listings, attending regional coin shows, or networking with established numismatic communities, where high-grade pieces occasionally appear from long-held private collections. In the broader landscape of American coinage, the 1956 D Jefferson Nickel represents a blending of historical relevance, aesthetic endurance, and collector aspiration. Its modest origins contrast sharply with its modern prestige, making it an appealing choice for both newcomers looking to build a meaningful collection and seasoned collectors striving to complete a competitive registry set. The combination of Denver mint quality, mid-century charm, and rarity in elite condition ensures its place among the standout issues of the series. As collectors continue to rediscover the hidden strengths of mid-century coins, the 1956 D nickel remains a compelling reminder that even ordinary change can transform into exceptional numismatic treasure. Next up, the story of the 1959 Jefferson Nickel without a mint mark begins with an unexpected sense of quiet importance, the kind that hides beneath its worn, dirty surface and slowly reveals itself to those who understand the deeper world of numismatics. Though countless Americans handled this coin in everyday life, only a small fraction ever stopped to consider that the Philadelphia Mint's simple no-mark 1959 issue would later become a sleeper date for collectors who appreciate rarity born not from low mintage, but from the scarcity of high-quality survivors. Its journey through decades of circulation has turned this seemingly ordinary nickel into a treasured piece of mid-century American coinage, admired for the subtle beauty still visible beneath layers of dirt and time, and sought after today for its remarkable ability to surprise even experienced collectors. To truly appreciate this coin, one must step back into the world of 1959, a year that reflected both stability and transition for the United States. It was a moment when the nation was growing rapidly, the economy was thriving, and consumer culture was reshaping everyday life. The Mint, particularly the Philadelphia branch, was under pressure to produce vast quantities of coinage to keep pace with expanding commerce. The Jefferson Nickel series, already 2 decades old, remained a workhorse denomination, circulating across every state and city. Although the 1959 issue does not commemorate any specific figure or event, it stands as a symbol of an era defined by confidence, industrial strength, and the steady rhythm of American life. Against this backdrop, the Philadelphia Mint continued its tradition of producing nickels without mint marks, unaware that decades later, collectors would look back and recognize how difficult it would be to find pristine examples from this particular year. Even after heavy circulation and the accumulation of dirt and wear, the artistry of the 1959 Jefferson Nickel remains noticeable to a trained eye. On the obverse, Felix Schlag's portrait of Thomas Jefferson presents a firm, thoughtful expression, framed by hair and facial contours that reveal their original sharpness only when examined under good light. The reverse features Monticello, Jefferson's architectural masterpiece, its columns, dome, and steps forming the centerpiece of the design. Although most circulated examples from this year show flattening on Monticello's steps, the design's symmetry and clarity still shine through for those who understand its structure. The familiar copper-nickel composition gives the coin durability, yet it is precisely this resilience that invites collectors to search for the few remaining coins that still hold their original brilliance, coins that escape the hard knocks of daily use. The rarity of the 1959 no-mark Jefferson Nickel emerges when we consider condition rather than mintage. While millions were produced, very few survived in the kind of exceptional state required to attract serious collectors. The Philadelphia Mint's production quality varied that year, and many coins suffered from weak strikes and surface chatter immediately upon minting. After years of circulation, most surviving pieces bear scratches, dull surfaces, and lost detail, especially in Jefferson's cheek and Monticello's steps. The true challenge lies in finding examples with sharp definition, clean fields, and original mint luster, a combination so scarce that collectors often search for years before locating a truly premium piece. These condition-based survivors are the ones that elevate the 1959 issue from common to extraordinary. Interest in the 1959 Jefferson Nickel continues to grow, because it represents a fascinating intersection between accessibility and challenge in the series. Collectors who pursue Jefferson Nickels often focus on dates where strike quality or condition scarcity turns ordinary coins into competitive registry pieces. The 1959 issue, though not as famous as earlier wartime or transitional years, has earned a strong following because of its difficulty and high grade. It stands out for those who appreciate the subtle shifts in minting practices during the late 1950s, and for collectors who enjoy building complete sets that include not only the celebrated dates, but also the underrated sleepers that carry quiet significance. In this way, the 1959 no-mark nickel has carved out a meaningful place within the broader Jefferson series. In today's market, values for the highest quality examples reflect both the scarcity and steadily increasing attention the coin has received. Attractive uncirculated pieces with strong eye appeal begin around $640, a number that continues to rise as demand increases. Exceptional specimens showing crisp detail and traces of original brilliance regularly achieve $2,900 to $4,600, particularly when authenticated by reputable grading services. Coins displaying premium luster, full-step detail, or unusually preserved surfaces often become auction favorites, sometimes surpassing expectations due to bidding competition among registry-set collectors. Even heavily circulated and dirty examples hold modest collector interest, but it is the elite pieces, the ones untouched by decades of wear, that truly define the coin's value and prestige. For collectors hoping to add a 1959 no-mint-mark Jefferson nickel to their collection, careful observation and patience are essential. Focus on Jefferson's cheek and jawline, where wear shows first, and examine Monticello's steps, a crucial indicator of strike strength. Look for original luster even if faint, as it can dramatically increase desirability. Consider certified examples if you aim for the highest quality, as grading services can confirm authenticity and provide accurate condition assessments. Estate collections, inherited boxes of coins, old jars, and long-ignored rolls occasionally produce hidden gems, and experienced collectors know that the most impressive finds often come from unexpected places. The key is persistence and a willingness to examine each coin closely. When viewed through the lens of history, artistry, condition scarcity, and collector passion, the 1959 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark becomes far more than just a common mid-century coin. It stands as a testament to the beauty hidden in everyday objects, a reminder that even coins worn, dirty, and nearly forgotten can hold powerful stories and considerable value. Both new enthusiasts and seasoned collectors find something to appreciate in this coin's journey, from bustling 1950s commerce to modern numismatic prestige. And as we continue this series, the next coin ahead brings an even more surprising rarity, one that may change the way you look at loose change forever. Next up, the 1961 Jefferson nickel has become one of the most fascinating discoveries for collectors who understand how condition rarity can elevate an otherwise common coin into the world of premium numismatics. While millions once flowed from the Denver Mint into everyday circulation, only a tiny fraction have survived in the kind of exceptional condition that attracts passionate bidding and serious investment interest today. This issue's importance comes not from dramatic mintage shortages or commemorative fanfare, but from the subtle difficulties involved in finding one with superb strikes and immaculate surfaces. That unexpected challenge has made the 1961 nickel a sleeper in the Jefferson series, one that modern collectors now pursue aggressively as the demand for high-grade mid-century coins continues to rise. To appreciate this coin's place in American history, one must understand the climate of 1961, a year marked by shifting national priorities and renewed energy as John F. Kennedy assumed the presidency. The country was embracing scientific advancement, space exploration, and cultural evolution, and the mint's output reflected the steady flow of currency needed for a rapidly modernizing nation. The Denver Mint produced massive quantities of Jefferson nickels that year, serving as one of the backbone facilities supporting daily commerce. Though the 1961 nickel does not honor a specific event, it represents the continuity of American coinage as the country stepped into a new decade of ambition and transformation. Its presence in the Jefferson series highlights the ongoing reliance on timeless designs even as national identity evolved. The design of the 1961 Jefferson nickel remains rooted in Felix Schlag's original artistic vision, yet collectors note that the quality of strike and detail varied significantly that year. On the obverse, Jefferson's portrait displays elegant features, especially in the curvature of his hair and the subtle shaping of his cheek and jaw. A strong, well-struck example shows remarkable depth that emphasizes Schlag's craftsmanship. The reverse features Monticello, its dome, pillars, and architectural lines forming the centerpiece of the design. The iconic steps at the base of Monticello serve as the ultimate test of strike quality, and full, well-defined steps are extremely rare for the 1961 issue. The coin's composition of copper and nickel, its 5-gram weight, and its familiar dimensions balance durability with detail, making high-grade examples stand out with a brilliance and sharpness few circulated coins possess. Rarity for the 1961 D nickel emerges from strike weakness and the harsh realities of mid-century circulation. Denver's high-speed production methods frequently produced soft details, leaving even fresh coins with incomplete steps or flattened high points. As time passed, these coins endured heavy use, accumulating scratches, dings, and where that all but erased their original sharpness. The coveted full-step examples represent a sliver of the original mintage, and their scarcity is such that even seasoned collectors struggle to locate one that meets strict grading standards. Minting variations and die deterioration further complicate the search, making uncirculated specimens with strong luster and minimal marks both rare and highly desirable. In today's market, the strongest 1961 D Jefferson nickels command impressive premiums, especially when certified at the upper end of the grading scale. Attractive uncirculated pieces begin around $720, often going higher if they exhibit above-average sharpness or strong natural luster. True full-step examples, already scarce, can reach $2,800 to $4,400, depending on their grade and eye appeal. Exceptional specimens with brilliant surfaces, minimal contact marks, or vibrant tunning sometimes inspire bidding wars among registry collectors, pushing prices even higher. The rising popularity of Jefferson nickel registry sets continues to fuel this upward trend, ensuring that high-end 1961 D coins remain competitive on the market. Collectors searching for a standout 1961 D nickel benefit from approaching the process with patience and attention to detail. Examining the steps on Monticello is essential, as fully separated and uninterrupted lines dramatically increase value. Checking for clean fields, crisp hair detail on the obverse, and well-defined lettering helps distinguish strong candidates from ordinary ones. Certification by respected grading services is recommended, especially for coins with full steps, since authenticity and accurate grading play major roles in value. Collectors often find opportunities at reputable auctions, coin shows, or through established dealers who specialize in mid-century American coinage. Careful storage in airtight holders or archival-safe capsules preserves luster and prevents the damage that often diminishes collectible quality. When viewed in the wider context of American numismatics, the 1961 D Jefferson nickel stands as a quiet triumph, an unassuming coin with hidden potential that continues to captivate collectors who appreciate the blend of history, design, and rarity. Its journey from a mass-produced circulation piece to a highly desirable collectible highlights the evolving nature of the hobby and the importance of condition in determining long-term value. Whether acquired for the beauty of its design, the challenge of its rarity, or the promise of future appreciation, the 1961 D nickel remains a meaningful addition to any Jefferson collection. And as our exploration of remarkable coins continues, the next piece in this series introduces an even more surprising discovery waiting to be uncovered.